So I sat in the right spot.
We're on our second week of looking at affirmation 6, which is, anybody remember what affirmation 6 is? It's right on your paper, knuckleheads.
Standing as Jesus does with the outcast and oppressed, the denigrated and afflicted, seeking peace and justice with or without the support of others.
All right, it's a lot of big words, but it's basically about how we take care of other people, and generally other people that are less fortunate than ourselves. Hey, stop. Okay. So, did everybody read affirmation 1 in their book? Raise your hand if you read affirmation 1 in your book.
I don't have my book with me today, though.
Okay, everybody needs to get that done. And then you also need to read affirmation 6. What? You're actually going to read all 12. You're going to read 3 affirmations a semester. That's not a ton of reading. Okay, so make sure you have read affirmation 1. And then make sure by the end of this, by like next week, you read affirmation 6. And you can also read affirmation 6 first, and then read affirmation 1 later. Now, which board do you think in our church, because we highlight the boards as well so that you know where you might want to plug in when you become members of the church. Which board do you think most does something about affirmation 6? BOCO. You guys are geniuses. What? Board of Christian Outreach. Very good. And we have the chair of Board of Christian Outreach here tonight, Sarah Miller, and she's going to tell you exactly what BOCO is all about. Welcome, Sarah.
All right. Well, like I was so eloquently introduced, I'm Sarah Miller. My day job, I'm actually do pediatrics with kids. So I actually love hanging out with kids like you that are bigger and smaller. And another part of my job is working with people who live in poverty, who don't speak English, most of them. And lots of them need lots of help that we don't even know what their needs are. So the other thing that they do, some people will walk from places like 120th and Center all the way down to 30th and L, which, do you guys know how many blocks that is? Anybody? 90 blocks. That's right. Just so that they can come in and get medicine because they don't feel good or one of their kids doesn't feel good. So what speaks to me about the Board of Christian Outreach is it's not something that is optional. It's something that we all need to think about. And I'm going to bring politics in because I have to. So in light of the, excuse me, uncensored election, I feel like we as a church and as a Board of Christian Outreach have a duty to reach out to people who have less than we do, because we need to prove to kids that are looking up to us, because I know somebody you know who looks up to you. There might be your brother or sister, it might be somebody's friend's brother or sister, but there's somebody watching your every move. And so they want you to do something and do something good, and they need to know that that's the American way, to be kind and help people who don't have as much. So that's part of my day job, is to do that, and that's what I feel like I've been called to do as a person. I actually went to nursing school with this fine young lady right here. So we've only been out for like 2 years. But anyway, Board of Christian Outreach, basically, I don't know how much you guys know about the United Church of Christ in general, but we're really lucky because it's a big organization that has lots of different parts. And so we're lucky at our church, we have a part where we can do this outreach. And so as part of the national church, they also do some outreach, which is both inside America and outside of America. So part of that, then we also have states or regions that we're in. And so part of what we do is give part of what our offering goes to our state so that other churches that don't have as many members or as many, or as much, basically as many members, so that they can have the same stuff that we can have. So it's helping out. The other thing that BOCO does, and it's kind of been, when I came on, we've added some social justice to BOCO, which means things like if there were people that, because they were Black, were hung in our downtown in the past, and that's not right. And so we read about that history to figure out why that happened and how we can help that not happen again. I think in recent events when we talk about immigration, or even different religions, if you're Muslim or Jewish, it's harder than it is being a Christian sometimes in our country. And so part of what BOCO does, part of what a branch of it is our social justice, where we would help either have people have their voice heard or come together to discuss so that you can figure out, is this what I'm thinking, or is this right? Are there other people that think like me, and how can we help other people do that? And also one other thing would be when we're talking about the environment. I don't know if you guys have heard about wanting to have a pipeline where there'd be oil from Canada to Nebraska. And so if you're listening to Dr. Elmas talk about that, it's really kind of dangerous for our earth to dig into it and, kind of make a fake earthquake by putting a pipe in and then having oil go through that. And then if the oil goes through there, then sometimes it'll seep out. And so then that ruins the earth underneath, it ruins the earth on the top. And so we need to speak out because we need to save our earth. So that's one branch of BOCO. Another branch is part of FATE, which you all probably, FATE are the folks that give us, help serve dinner, and they're the ones that are helping us compost so that we can save the earth in that way. They also do various activities to kind of help promote that environmental importance, like with the pipeline and things like that. Another part of BOCO is that we have some monies that we get from the church budget and offerings that we can give to people in our community. We help organize the church offering for Christmas and for Easter. And when I came on, BOCO was doing it a little differently, having tons and tons of people. There's tons of need in our community and our extended community, and just kind of taking applications. And this year, we changed it up a little bit. So we did the Wednesday Night Alive upstairs on organizations that had something that would offer who we are as Christians and how that would relate to their work. And so we did that for 6 weeks and just kind of gave the church an opportunity and some perspective to be able to help. Things that they get to do, there's a part of North Omaha that they're trying to bring together as a community, and so they need some folks to do English as a second language, so you guys would be prime people to go as an after-school type thing to go help people learn English, or go play with children so that their parents can learn English, so that you care for them for an hour and a half. Another thing that folks that came in, the Ronald McDonald House, they have a lot of kids that are sick with chronic illnesses, which means like they might have had a liver transplant or a heart transplant or some kind of disease where they have to be in the hospital a long time, and their parents have to live at that house. And it's really nice for them, but it's nice to have some other kids that are healthy come in and serve meals, help serve dinner to those folks. Another organization was a kids club organization where they help kids that are disadvantaged to be able to get prizes for going to school, because believe it or not, there's people in Omaha that can't always get to school, because if they miss that bus, they can't get to school that day. Which sounds, sweet, I'm out of school, but it's not sweet, because that means then if I don't go to school, then I don't get breakfast. And if I don't get breakfast, then I won't get lunch. And then I won't get the backpack I can take home so I can have dinner. So that's another program that we want to encourage kids to be active and involved in school, and show them that there is an opportunity beyond where they're living, that they can think about college. A lot of kids, some of the kids in our community haven't even thought about college at all. And so that's another great spot to think about. And one other one that we're also thinking about for an offering is called the Asian Rural Institute. And what that is it's an international organization where they teach leaders in communities that are in third world countries, so parts of South America, parts of Asia, parts of Africa, and teach them how to grow food or use solar power, a variety of agricultural type things to be able, they teach leaders how to go back and have communities come together to help that, help their community. So if in Asia some folks needed rice so that their community could eat, so they taught a leader how to grow rice and grow lots of rice and how to rotate the crops and everything. And so they're not, it's kind of like not just teaching somebody a fish, fishing for someone, but teaching them how to fish so that they can eat the fish. So that's another part. So we have chosen, that's for our Easter offering. We try to kind of mix that up so that we kind of have some options for Easter. And then this guy over here, we're gonna, for Christmas, we have 3 basic organizations that have come out of Countryside. One is the Community Covered. Another one is Los Chavalitos, the medical clinic down in Nicaragua, and then Together Incorporated. So this year, because we've decided from now on we're going to rotate those, Together Incorporated is our Christmas offering this year. So you tell your parents, it'll be amazing. So Mike could probably talk to this better than me, but being able to serve veterans, being able to have food, being able to have those basic necessities we were talking about with kids, adults have that too. And so that's really important to remember and be able to give, whether it be money or time or clothing, things that we take for granted that we have that other people don't. So I probably didn't do that so great, but so that is Christmas and Easter offerings. And then this is the best board ever. A, because I'm there, but B, because we do such fun things. Then we have a little extra money so that we can help projects that come through where we kind of want to be that seed to help a plant grow. So one of the projects that has come through is, so I hear that there's some Pine Ridge toys that you guys are going to help work on to get to the reservation, right? To Pine Ridge. So sometimes we throw in a little bit of extra stuff, money, so that we can get some more toys for those kids that don't have that. The other things we do, that's one of them. We've also done, like, the box is ours. I forgot about the box. The box is super great. So the box, the basket, and the list, we get to choose those things, and we would love, especially your ideas of places where you feel like people could use whatever it is we could collect in the box. So we collected the, meats for the last month. We're doing toys now. December we'll collect for Together Inc., those kinds of things. So other CD projects would be bags to go grocery shopping that say Countryside on them, so that they could know that we're trying to be a great church. It's a cool bag, and we can help fund that so that we can give that back to the faith group. So lots of fun things that are really trying to make an impact in our community and in our international community. So it's a great board, and I feel like it's evolving. I guess some other things that I've tried to start to is that we want to start doing some service trips. You all get to go on your awesome youth trips, whether it be singing or or your mission trips to Washington D.C. or Jamaica or the Indian Reservation. But I feel like it's time for our adults to get in on this business too. So we've been doing research over the last 6 months to kind of figure out what are we doing and where are we going. Just because for me, service means being the hands and the feet, along with, if that's not what you can do, being able to do something else. So that's where we need your, BOCO, come join us anytime. Tuesday night, 6:30. Anyway, I want to get some adult service trips going, so we'll probably start with something more local, but then definitely perhaps move on to international, but just kind of start planting those seeds, because I got 1 year and I'm out, but you should still come because I got one more fun year. So, yeah. So, boards, when you are on a board at our church, you can be on the board for 3 years. Usually the first year is what I call like, holy cow, what just happened? Watch what's happening because this goes fast, okay? Then the second year, they're like, you should be in charge. So then you are like, okay, sure, can I say no? And then you kind of get to be in charge of some things or participate and help do the other things. Then the third year, who knows? The third year, then you can help the people that are coming on that are like, whoa, what just happened? So 3 years is good, and then you can trade boards. I know you can't go back for a little bit. You probably gotta wait a year or something, but yes.
Why are you on BOCO?
Why am I on BOCO? I tried to fly under the radar for a very long time. And then Tim Kerrigan and Mary Beth Link and Chris Alexander were like, dude, you have to be on a board. I'm like, dude, I like under the radar. But when it's the Board of Christian Outreach, and like I said, the reason that BOCO speaks to me is because we have the opportunity to do what I feel like real Christian outreach is, and be able to organize that. How do you say no to that? Do you guys do any, can you think of some service projects or some projects that you've done that have reached out to kids or adults or people that you've made an impact on? Does anybody have a story? I find it really hard to believe that none of you have ever done anything nice. All right, dude in Papillion.
One time we went to a warehouse or something, and we bagged foods for poor people.
Where were you at, bagging food in the warehouse? Do you remember? Were you here or in a different state?
No, it was here.
It was here.
I think it was downtown.
Downtown. Awesome.
That'd be good food. I did that at Good Food once.
Good food. Good food, you can do that too. Rock on.
We volunteered for the Rainbow House and cooked food for them.
Awesome. You volunteer for the Rainbow House and cook for them. Oh my gosh, so we got to learn about that. Rock on. What else?
Every year I buy toys for kids that don't get Christmas presents.
Awesome. Buying toys for kids without Christmas presents. Abby?
We brought toys to the Boys Town for my Girl Scout troop.
Nice. Toys to Boys Town for Girl Scouts.
I donate clothes to Salvation Army.
You donate clothes to Salvation Army. Awesome.
I donated toys to the toys.
Toys for Tots.
Yeah.
Nice. Toys for Pine Ridge. Do it. You donate clothes too. Awesome. Anything else? All right. Yeah.
My family and I on Thanksgiving once went around to people that can't afford meals and gave them food.
Yep, serving Thanksgiving meals, yeah. Our family, and I will say our family meeting, I have a miniature person at my house who's 19 months, and then the other people that can walk. They go and give Thanksgiving meals every year at the through the Salvation Army to people that don't have Thanksgiving meal food. What else? Anybody else ever served? Gone to Sienna Francis House to serve food? Ronald, I call it Ron McD, Ronald McDonald. Anybody?
One year for my birthday, instead of presents, I asked for like necessities and then gave them to the casa.
Awesome. Gave necessities to Casa House for your birthday. Awesome. So when you do that, how does that make you feel? Why does it? Why do you think it makes you feel good? Tell me what that feels like.
It makes you feel good. Okay,
Go ahead.
I was right. It makes you feel good because you're doing something like good for somebody else.
Awesome. Because you feel good because you did something for somebody else. That's what you're gonna say. Anybody else? All right. Any more questions for me?
What are you excited about this year?
I think I'm excited about being able to just try all these things. It's kind of crazy because I'm like, why am I doing this? This is too many things to keep track of and orchestrate all at the same time. But that's the part that gets me the most excited because I feel like we're planting seeds in our church community to like make a difference in our Omaha community. And that's where we have to start because we can control the things that we can where we live. And that way we can do those acts of kindness and acts of good for the great, and that will hopefully ripple so that our community and our state and our country is better. I think I got all the questions on the sheet. All right.
That was the last one.
Do you think the problems with people becoming poor and not being able to make ends meet, do you think that's getting worse, or through efforts like this it's getting better?
I think it's a combination. I think that, especially like where I work, a lot of people are coming to this country to make, to have a better life for their family. And that deals with issues that are not necessarily in America. It has American issues, but I think it's issues in other countries. And we have to be able to find policy and organize together to figure out how to get that better. I feel like when you do some of the outreach, you can give people an opportunity, not just because you feel better because you did something nice for somebody, but because you're planting a seed to give people hope. And if we can plant that seed and give people hope, I think it'll get better. But like I said, I think, yeah, we'll see.
Any other questions? Who's going to be on BOCO when you become a member of the church?
Nobody wants it? All right, sweet. Come and join us. We're a fun group. And
Thank you. So we're probably going to end a little early, but I think Sarah's last comments made me think about something Jesus said. He was being questioned by some people, and like he was regularly, and they were talking about money, and that this woman came and brought a jar of perfume, super expensive perfume, probably a year's wages worth of perfume. And when she saw Jesus, she poured it on his feet. And it says that she wiped his feet with her hair, you know, so she got this perfume everywhere. And they were having a dinner party, you know, so all the other disciples around the table were just like, oh my gosh. Can you imagine? If you're talking to somebody else right now, just stop and think about this like scene. You're in somebody's house for dinner, and like say you have the president at your house, but like a normal president. And
You were the one that wrote the
I know, I'm
And-
sorry. I couldn't do it.
and somebody comes in, like a person that you know, but you don't really think highly of, they come into your dinner party at your house and they make this big fuss over the president, right? And they pour this perfume that stinks up your whole house. Your house smells like that perfume for like a month. And they kiss his feet and wipe his feet with their hair, and it's expensive. And so there was one guy there, his name was Judas. You might have heard of that name before. Judas said, oh my gosh. Are you talking about what's related to this?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And so Judas actually says, Judas is the one who actually handed Jesus over to the authorities. He says, that perfume is super expensive. We could have used that money to help the poor. And Jesus says this thing that I think is really interesting. He says, you're always going to have the poor, but you're not always going to have me. And what's interesting about that is he didn't say, I'm going to fix this and we're going to do something about this poor situation. We're going to rid the world of poverty. No, he didn't say that. He said you're always going to have the poor. And that's why I was asking Sarah that question. Are things getting worse? Are things getting better? And I think one of my philosophies is if you are born into a culture where you actually have resources, it is your responsibility to give those resources to those who were born. Hey guys, it's your responsibility if you were born with resources to give them to people that were born without resources. It's just that's the nature of the way we live, and that's the way it works. And I think that's why Jesus was saying that. You're always going to have the poor. You're never going to fix that problem. And so those of you that have and are able should give, and give generously. So, any thoughts on that? Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Yes. What's that? Yes. Yes, thank you, Amy. That's a very good point. So on Sunday, if you didn't get the memo, it's one of your confirmation outreaches. We're gonna meet at 4:30 and we're gonna make lunches, like bag lunches, and we're gonna bring them to the people on the street that you see holding cardboard signs that say, you know, I'm not gonna spend this on drugs, you know, I'm homeless and in need. And so we're gonna go find those people and you're gonna give them a lunch, and then and we'll see how that conversation goes.
What time? Sunday, this Sunday?
This Sunday, 4:30 to 6. There's dinner here at 6. We'll meet here at 4:30 and make the sandwiches. And if you want to donate some lunch stuff, let me know, so I'll know how much to buy extra than that. So that counts as one of your. You have to do like 4 nice things for people over the course of the year, right? So this would count as one of them.
Does an urban plunge count as all of them?
If you do the urban plunge, it counts as all of them.
What's the urban plan?
I think it's 4. I think it's 3 sermon notes.
Do we need like
What was she talking about, the urban plan?
Urban plunge is like a weekend where we do like 9 service projects in one weekend. You have to write something afterwards. Right here, in this room. All right, you guys can hang out. You can go to the gym. You can go to the youth room. I'll put some snack food on the back.